Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next episode of our Ultimate Berde podcast. And your host, the Green Brotherhood, and your host, Papi Lapitan, and our co-host, Bobby Reyes, and our special co-host, Kiko Malingdem. Yeah, and our guest for today is G Tough Grade School 66, and then lsgh70, DLSU BSBA 74, and the current DLSAA president, the dad of our batchmate, Casey Velhagen, and the Mr. Lasal itself, Kaloy Velhagen. Clap, guys.
Hi, sir.
Hi,
Oh,
sir.
Tito
Hi,
Kaloy.
Thank you, Papi.
Tito Kaloy. Tito
Tito Kaloy.
Kaloy. Hi, Tito Kaloy.
Okay,
Tito
let's stick
Kaloy.
to Tito Kaloy, okay? Drop the
Hey,
sir.
Tito Kaloy.
Let's drop the
Okay.
sir. Tito Kaloy lang yan.
Yeah.
Hello, Tito Kaloy.
Yeah, or
Say
else.
hi to our batchmate naman and a little message.
Of course, celebrating classes who are celebrating their silver or their golden jubilee will be one of the most significant events in your high school life, no? And I'd like to say kudos and congratulations to your batch, 98, right? 98?
Yes,
You
sir.
are celebrating
Yes, Tito. Yes, Tito.
25 years. Come
Yes.
when? 20?
2023.
23.
Okay, so that's just, 2 years from now. And what can I say? I mean, especially now, I'm sure the planning is quite challenging because of this nasty pandemic that's hounding us. But it'll be fun, no? I've seen so many batches get together already virtually, and it's a lot of fun. Of course, you can have your drinking and your meals beside you. You don't have to line up on a buffet table. You don't have to go up a stage or anything like that. But I assure you that your batch will make it happen. Your batch will make it happen. And I'm sure the core group behind it will see to it. You're planning early, huh? It's only what? You're ahead of the curve in terms of planning, which is good. In our case, when we celebrated our 50th year, we planned about a year in advance. For our golden jubilee, for our silver jubilee, also about a year before the event. So guys, to everybody in batch 98, one big animo to all of you. I'm glad to be your guest. I'm glad you invited me, Papi. And bleed green, you guys, huh? Bleed green.
Yes.
I think no, sir. Ay, Tito.
Pink green and
Bleed.
bleed green.
Okay, no. Bleed lang. Wag
Bleed
daw
lang.
think. Masyadong think green.
Wag daw think green.
Masyado.
I think green, well, you can save that for later because yung implication dyan, but bleed green first.
Okay. Bob, let's start.
Thank you, Tito. Bale, Tito, you started Lasal Green Hills from kinder ba yan?
No, I'm from Taft, no? I'm from Taft, and when I started in Taft I finished in 66, which means I entered Taft maybe 59, because we had 7 years of grade school at that time. We started in Taft because it was the school that my father went to. My father is a high school graduate 32, college 35 of LaSalle Taft. And of course, at that time, there were no other schools except, I think, Green Hills, I think, was opened in 59. No? But so Taft was the place to go to for us. And I'm the youngest of five. And all my brothers before me, 3 of them, all went to Taft. Why did we go to Taft? Because we lived near Taft. That was the way. Malapit lang kami, mga Estrada, Vito Cruz, Dian, Singalong, it was convenient. Now, if you lived in the Katipunan area, of course, you'd go to that school there, no? go to that
Merinol.
Merinol yan.
Okay.
Merinol or UP or whatever, schools dyan. So that's how it started. So my grade school life was very tamed, very quiet. Nobody noticed me in grade school, believe me. I was that quiet a guy, And throughout my grade school, I had a few friends. Siyempre, we always had a classmate, a class. We were in one class all throughout, and those were good formative years. And the teachers that time, we were all very traditional in teaching. Whiteboard, chalk, blackboard type, and notebooks and all that. But the beauty about TAF was that we had a playground, the football field. We had the football field. It was our playground, yeah. And our games that time as children, when we were there, Jolene, marbles. We used to play with Jolens. It was a fun time growing up, no? In those years at La Sata. But like I said, I was not into sports. I was bullied a couple of times because who's this little guy? He doesn't say anything. Mistizo na velhagen na to. So,
English.
but English speaking, I flunked my Tagalog. I don't know how many times, and I had to have a tutor in Filipino practically all throughout grade school. So, and then of course, grade 7 na. And when you're grade 7, syempre, wow, next year, high school na, okay. Okay, so I entered Green Hills in 1966. And Green Hills, because staff closed the high school, so we had to shift, no? So it was a big thing for us from TAF because now we were going to meet the grade schoolers of Green Hills. So there was a merging, okay, of those from grade school 66 of Green Hills and grade school 66 of TAF. So it was a whole new ball game, make new friends, But then again, I was quiet. Nobody really knew me, I just stay out of everybody's ways. I just stay safe and and nobody noticed me. Again, there were a few guys that bullied me, the usual thing that was part.
Normal.
That was part of
Di mawawala yun. Puro lalaki.
In TAF, kung may suntukan, tawag dyan, back of the gym. We had a gym, the Athanasius gym in Taft. And so when we needed to make a little suntukan, we had what we call the back of the gym. That's where nobody goes. That term is very popular in Taft grade school. In Green Hills, I really don't know, when there were fist fights or whatever. I don't know where they go to do their boxing or whatever, but I was never part of that. So when incoming third year, there was something that struck me. I said, I think I want to become a PNT officer, Preparatory Naval Training Officer. PNT.
Palang ROTC.
Okay? ROTC is college, PNT was high school.
Parang C80. C80 yung panahon namin.
Well, in our case, it was PNT. So, marching in the field, all of that with our M1 Garans. And ngayon, maybe I think you use wooden rifles. During our time, we had Garans.
Real guns.
And syempre, may training yan during the summer. So, it was like I don't recall, maybe a 1-month training, barrack style in Green Hills. So we slept over in Green Hills and we were trained. It was like it's like a fraternity. There was not naman hazing, but there was a little, they pushed us. We had to march for a long time, keep us awake for the longest time, make us hungry, carry our rifles, squat, mga ganon ba? Yung talagang parang military training.
High school, 13 years old?
So, 40, I graduated 16 years old, so maybe I was 15.
Oh, 15.
So, syempre, in my mind, I'm the youngest of 5, no? So, syempre, I had 3 older brothers always looking at their bunso. Hey, buddy, what are you going to make of yourself, Well, I'll show you guys. So, I took officers training. And it was quite, little did I know it was already the start of something that would mold me, in terms of discipline, in terms of being more matibay, discerning, being more discerning when faced with problems. So for me, it was just, okay, it must be fun. And I made very good friends, those who were in high school kasi, we had the highest section, yung mga pinakamatalino, yung mga 401, 101, 201, yung mga ganun ba. But we had the 11 sections in fourth year. 401 all the way to
11 sections.
yeah.
Dami.
409, 410, basta up that many. And so officers training, I think, was a step in getting me out of my shell, because I was still, cloistered ba, being the youngest in the family and all of that, no? To some degree spoiled.
Favorite.
So,
Bunso,
but I won't complain, no? I mean, my brothers would always tell me that, So, okay, I said, sorry, I'm the youngest. What can I do? I was born the last, no? So, that was already the start. I was discovering myself already when I started taking officers training. So, high school was done. Now, college. So, I said, wow, I think I want to take this time naman Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps, NROTC.
NROTC.
So this was 1970 already, no? So a couple of us.
Martial law, yeah.
Not yet. We didn't know martial law. It was Marcos, I think, panonoling ng Marcos, no? So the training in TAF for officers training was during the summer of 1970. So a few of my buddies from high school, we took the officers training. We took the officers training, and so it was again in school. No, we were a lot of the training was in school, but we had the opportunity to go home. But we had to report for training at 4 o'clock in the morning. So again, a lot of discipline started to come in, no? And then there was an achievement that I'll always remember in my officers training, because you had to be good in technically and tactically. Technically, you're good in paperwork and all of that, no? Fortunately, I was able to top my class tactically in terms of rifle handling, yung mga special, yung model company and all of that, no?
Model,
How to handle a rifle, model company, no? So eventually, we were ready for first day of school, and they gave me a platoon of seniors. I mean, older than me, a year ahead, upperclassmen. So here I was, looking scrawny, payat, kalbo, in front of these guys who were, much older than me, maybe a year or two, who were older than me. It was a challenge, syempre, who's this guy? He's a freshman. And my platoon was, they were, I think, sophomores or juniors, I don't remember. So that was another episode in my life where I think I was being molded. But guys, don't forget, no? In spite of all of this, the common denominator here was being in LaSalle, no? And the exposure to the brothers. Of course, that time, I think we had a little bit more brothers than there are now. Our exposure to the brothers was always there. In fact, in college, side story, the brothers wanted to recruit me. You remember Brother Gus Boker?
Brother Gus.
Brother Gus. He's the president now of LaSalle Dasmariñas, no? In high school. In high school, he put us through what we call the Circulo. It's the grandfather of, I forget the retreats you have
Search
now.
Yun ba yun?
Search In, the grandfather of Search In. And so Brother Gus, for the longest time, was trying to recruit me and a buddy of mine to become a brother. And I was seriously thinking about it. I was really serious in high school. I said, do I want to do this? Maybe I should. Maybe it's my calling. And syempre, my mother was there. Iho, I think this would be good for you, anak. I said, I think about it, ma. But when I got to high college, oh my.
Mga
I
chicks
think
na.
I began to notice Saint Scholastica,
Yes.
Assumption. Oh my. They're here. They exist.
Temptation, left and right.
Parties, soirees, and all of that. Oh my, no, this is
Yes.
nice. I told Brother Gas, sorry, but I think it will have to wait.
Tawag,
you know,
tawag eh.
Calling is
Pero
different.
what was nice was, of course, building a relationship with the brothers, no, an intimate relationship with the brothers, and getting to understand what they do for LaSalle, the commitment they have to the brothers community, no. So college, eventually, as I mentioned earlier, there was martial law that came in. A lot of politics came into the picture. LaSalle started to march out into the streets, burn tires, and do their share, no. It was that. And but that was just, again, an episode. So for many of us, we went into student politics. So by the time I was third year college, I was, or was it my sophomore year, I forget now, I was able to join student government. Okay, student government. But it wasn't as active as it is now. Because if you look at in TAF, they call it the university student government. It's so complex. They're so politicized now in LaSalle, no? They have views. And during our time, when we would go to the student council room, we would just go to the student council room to make kwentuhan, play chess, play games in the general. That's how simple our politics was, no? For the student council, no? Life was simple and it wasn't complicated and tough during those days. So yeah, there was
Patay
martial
oras
law.
lang. Papatay oras lang.
Yeah, we learned to live with it. We learned to live with it, no? So college for me was a lot of fun. No? Kasi some guys, they say high school was better. Some say college was better. But in my particular case, it was college that was really my more formative years that I think was already my training that was going to bring me into my career, no? So eventually, after college, it was time to build a career, and eventually I found myself in the hospitality business. Okay, and the bulk of my career. So the bulk of my career, the longest time that I had served was with a fellow LaSalite, the late Archie King, no, and he's the founder of Victoria Court. Okay, so I'm sure
Basketball
that
court, no?
Basketball court.
it's a different kind of court. So a different kind of court. This is one court where you want to go to court.
Yes. Pero ngayon alam ko may team na silang ganun basketball court talaga.
Meron talaga.
They have what they call their thematic rooms, no? They're thematic rooms and of different designs.
Anito ba yun? Or Victoria Court na agad? Anito Inn or Victoria Court na?
No, you see, it's like this, no? The father of the motel business in the Philippines was Archie King's father, Angelo King. What is the name of the building of Shrimp? The Angelo King
building.
Conference. Yes. Okay, AKIC.
AKIC.
Diba? AKIC yan. Yeah, so that's the father of Archie King. He was the founder or the father of the motel business, and the name was Anito Lodge. Okay, Anito Lodge. Now, he wanted to retire, and eventually, he has two sons, no? Archie King, high school 71, and his other brother, what's his name? And his brother was from 72. Okay, so the father divided 72. The business between. Yeah, it's the younger brother of Archie King. So eventually, what Archie did, he wanted to have his own brand. So he shifted and put up the brand Victoria Court. Okay, he put up the brand Victoria Court, and eventually he needed a general manager.
Yan.
And so eventually he found me. We knew each other from college, and he found me, and so eventually it was the start of a good relationship, no? So I asked him, Archie, why did you come and look for me? Literally, he went looking for me. I was running a small ice cream parlor at that time, sa Glorieta ang tawag dyan, or Park Square, no? During the old days. So jokingly I asked him, why? You know what he told me? Kaloy, kasi when you were an officer, you were my officer, and you made me do push-ups. Ganun ba yan? So now you're going to get even at me by making me utos every day as your general manager. So it was a good run. You know, it was a good run. He was just more than my boss, but he was also a friend. And after the 10 years, I started my career in other establishments. I was in a hotel in Cebu. I was in a hotel in Boracay. I was in a hotel in Binondo. And then for some reason, then I said, I felt the need to teach. So one day I just knocked on the doors of CSB, Akik, and a colleague of mine endorsed me to them, and so be it. No, so I started a teaching career in the early 2000 something, you know, and stayed there for about easily 10 years, no? A little bit more even. And so somewhere along the way,
parang giving back to Lasal.
Yeah.
Kaya
You see, that's another thing, no? There's a story I want to share, no? A side story. lsgh98, we have put up a scholarship program, and we have been talking to LSGH, and we've already signed up. We're going to put we have 4 scholars from the senior high and the alternative learning center, and so we're going to be taking care of them for the entire 2 years. And so we've signed up already 2 students. So what does that mean? You know, as a class, we've been able to muster up commitment, not only in terms of support, in terms of time, but in terms of money. People say, okay, guys, we believe in what you're doing. So that is what has happened but you know, we finished our silver jubilee, we finished our golden jubilee. So what now? Tapos na, di ba? The fun is over. So what is it we want to do? So we, for our 50th, when we celebrated our 50th in 2020, we went on an information drive, and we said, you know, we want to put up a scholarship program. And we had classmates with a generous heart, and they gave. They gave, no questions asked. But you see, this is what they said to the core. Basta kayo guys, kayong bahala. Kayo, ito, kayo. So there's a core group that's going to have to carry on.
Trust talaga, trust.
Yeah. You have to build that trust as the core group. So we're a core group we range anywhere from 5 to 7 guys. In other words, we stuck it out all these years. And I think some of you might remember one of them. His name was the late Tony Ataide. I think
he's the father of our batchmate.
Correct. He's the father of Anthony. Right? He's the father of, and he was part of our core group. And Aaron, yeah. Anthony and Casey were batchmates, in Green Hills with you guys, no? So that's what's important, is that don't lose sight of your class vision. What is it you want to do? Puro party all the time? Yeah, we had that when we were at Victoria Court. Oh, we had a lot of parties. And you know, I won't tell you what kind, but we had a lot of parties. We had fun. We had fun, you know. Yeah, we had fun. And so you have to keep the class together. Don't go dark. Don't go off the radar, no? And say, I've had too much of this, you know, that's too much for me, I don't want. No. There will always be guys who will say, basta ikaw, I'll support you. Basta ikaw, I'll support you. All right. So we even put up what we call a bro fund. This bro fund is, again, where classmates contributed. And when we have classmates in need, we help in whatever way
okay.
okay, we help. If you are sick, we help. If you have other problems, we will try to help. But we will always be there to give something. And we've been helping classmates. And that the truth of the matter is there will be classmates who will be in need.
Yes,
Whether
yes.
you like it or not. There will be
Ngayon, sa amin,
classmates.
ganun rin sa amin.
Yeah. And so, but again, no, it takes a lot of commitment. And hindi pwede na basta-basta, oh, you need money. No, there's controls. No, there are always controls. We screen them. We get to know what their issues are, and then whatever we can give, we will. Some will give on their own, and then some will be helped by the bro fund. No, the BROFUND, the bro, or the brothers fund. This was coined by one of my classmates. No, so we meron may guidelines yan. Who can get, who cannot get. If you get, how much can we give? There are controls. Okay. So eventually, during my professional career, I was part of when Green Hills had their first homecoming, it was called Uno. And the brother that time who was brother Dizon. He passed away already. So a few of us came together. We were called on tap to put together the first Green Hills homecoming. I think it was in the maybe in the early 80s or late 80s. Late 80s or early, yeah. So I said, why not? So, the brothers called on us. There were representatives from batch 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. And we put together the first Green Hills homecoming. And it was not in February. It was not in February. I think it was in October or something like that when we put together the first homecoming. Okay. So that was it. I said, oh, this was good. So eventually, in our class, lsgh98, we started to, even on our first year, second year, beginning up to our fifth year, our 10th year, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. We were there all the time. Some classmates never missed. They even come from abroad. They wouldn't miss it for anything. There was one time our class attendance was even greater than the celebrating class. I mean, that's the brotherhood. And you, the core group, you need to build that brotherhood. You need to make your community of classmates know that you're there and that you're busy working. You have to work for the class. Be it fellowships, be it fundraising, be it golf, be it golfing or whatever you guys do now.
May fellowship parati.
Yeah. Okay, but of course, with this pandemic, you have to, it's now virtual fellowship, no? Hopefully, by the time you celebrate your 25th, medyo maluwag na. Nakabakuna na most of the people, and you can now go out. But that's how it was. No, so even there was now after helping the high school, after being active, then our class remained active all those years. No, and I'm happy to say that I have been how do I say this? No? Not a spirit behind the class in terms of its momentum. No, me and a few other guys. I don't take credit for everything. There's always a team of people, and that's you guys. No, you guys have to be that team. You have to be that core group. And then eventually, what happened? My 25th year out of college, 1999. 99 was fast approaching, and brother in charge of alumni affairs that time was the late brother Benedict. I don't think you knew him or may have or heard of him maybe. So he was the prime mover of the De La Salle Alumni Association, and so he tapped me. Okay, he tapped me and he said, we need somebody to take care of our homecoming of your class. So we called it Roots 99. The 00 was like a 9, no? So Roots 99. Christian Achievers for God and Country. And that, again, defines who we are as LaSallites, no? Of course, we are all anchored on the Christian gentleman banner, no? That's where we all
5Cs.
hang on to, no? All right, that's important.
Yes.
Maybe sometimes we fool around with it once in a while, but you know, it's already there. It's, you don't know it, but it's inside you, you know, because you have been formed to be like that by our teachers from LaSalle, by our parents, whether they went to LaSalle or not, by the brothers, if you had been exposed to them, by the many activities that the school has done for you. Okay, so I pulled off my Silver Jubilee in Green Hills, in Taft. And at that time, we held it in the Marian Quadrangle, which is a small, you know, this is behind the LS building. We didn't have it in the field. We were only a little over 400 at that time, no? But you know, it was intimate. It was intimate. We had a lot of fun and all of that. And so eventually, as I progressed in my career, I also saw to it that my relationship with LaSalle continued. Not once did I drop the ball on LaSalle. I mean, I made it a point. All my children went to LaSalle. Oh yeah, yeah. So you know, don't attempt to insult my school, you know, in public, or you get it from me.
Yan.
I mean, you know, you have to literally bleed green, and you have to be prepared to, you know, put your money where your mouth is when it comes to LaSalle. Hey, look at me. My cap is green, and my shirt is LaSalle. My rosary. What? This also importante ito ha sa mga Lasallista. Kailangan
6 decades ba yan? 6 decades?
6 decades. Of course, 6 decades. At saka,
6 decades yan.
green pa to ha, green. Oh, green. Green. Yung glasses ko, green. Oh.
Yan.
Napapamana ba yan, Tito?
So, even my laptop case has the Archer. I can also show you later. I have a tattoo Archer.
Wow.
I have an Archer tattoo.
Ganun ka, ano ah.
I'll show it to you now what I'm gonna do. No, but
Pwede,
I just want to prove.
Wala ka man nakakita eh.
Isang tattoo yan, Tito.
Ano tattoo yan?
Hindi henna ito ha.
Wow.
Pero 5 years old na siya. 5 years old, so medyo faded na siya. So kailangan
bago-bago lang ha?
No, yeah, well, 5 years, no? So I'm saying that's how crazy I am. I'll get it. And I tell every time na meron event, pare, may tattoo ka ba? Ako, tignan mo yung akin, pare. Ano say mo?
Wala.
So I'm proud of that, and my children say, "Are you sure, pa? I mean, aren't you taking it a bit too wide?" That's me, you know.
What sabi ng mga anak niyo, tsaka asawa mo.
Oh, syempre, well, you know, that's you, pa. Okay, won't argue with you. And some, you know, my father, he got a tattoo. Show it, pa, show it. Oh, may payabang pa. Especially among the younger ones, because they look at it, shock sila. Boy, this guy must be crazy to have an Archer tattoo, you know. So, eventually, over the years, my class 70 got stronger. Why? Because we got older. We got old. So as we got older,
mas dumami?
we matured.
O mas mas naging active?
Well, we were very active every 5 years for our home. We were consistent. The core group was very active on year 5, year 10, year 15, year 20, year 25, year 30, 35, 40. And how many, you know, that's many years of accomplishment, all leading to our 50th. Okay. So our 50th, there was a lot of planning. We had our polo club event where we had a good attendance. Siyempre, that was the party, you know, at polo club. And we had our wives and our spouses and partners with us, and they enjoyed it with us. We made them feel that, hey, you are partners, you're part of this class. In fact, now there is a lsgh wives Viber group, a small LSG, yung mga misis namin. So that's why we have to, what are you talking about there? You're talking about us, Be careful what you say, There's about 5 or 6 of them that got formed. They call themselves the lsgh98 wives. Okay. So we listen once in a while what they're talking
Ganun ka wild,
about.
ganun ka, ano na yung
United.
Kasi
United yung batch, oh.
It has to grow beyond you. It has to
Mm.
grow beyond you, and you have to, and of course the people who are next in line. If you're single, then your girlfriend or whoever your partner is. If it's your wife, even your children, no. And so they will be proud of you, huh? I must admit, and I'm very happy that my family, my children, have been proud of what we have done as a class, not individually, but as a class. Okay, as to where we're at. So you, as a core group, you need to bring your class to greater heights. Hindi flatline kayo palagi, homecoming. No, you have to have a mission. You have to have a vision. And that vision is what is common to everybody, which we want. It's giving back. So what do you intend to give back to LaSalle at some point in your life? Okay. Will it be money? Will it be, I don't know, will it be time? Will it be teaching? So every time I thought of those things, it's giving back. Gave back by teaching in CSB. Gave back by doing homecomings, or gave back by being part of the alumni association. And I had that in mind. That was a goal of mine. I said one day, kasi in LaSalle, in the LS building, there's a wall there of all of the past presidents of the DLSAA. And I counted it, and it turned out that I am the 50th president of the DLSAA since the start, since it started. Wow, I said, 50th president. Pandemic president pa. Can you imagine?
Aray.
What am I going to do as the pandemic president? Homecoming. We cannot have homecoming. We cannot have our fellowship.
UAP,
what
wala.
did I discover? Wala, UAP. But what did I discover? We launched this Walk with Bro program with the DLSAA, right? Where we invited brothers to talk about the journey of St. John Baptist de La Salle. Okay. And that's how it started. So we picked the brothers that we got for this. There was Brother Armin Luistro, who was once president of DLSU. He's now the lead visitor. That's the Lasallian East Asia District. We got Brother Victor Franco. He was your principal or president when you entered high school. Kasi the first day of school ni Casey, kasi from Don Bosco, I brought him to school. I brought Casey to school. I entered the field with Casey. Syempre, proud ako. I mean, this is my school. My son is with me,
Sarap.
Into the
Okay,
field.
ikaw ah.
Yeah. And I saw Brother Victor Franco, who was then, and he saw me. Syempre, he was my teacher in college. I said, brother, I'm happy that you are the president or the principal. Yung story ni Casey. Syempre, Don Bosco siya, no?
Eldest?
So,
is he your eldest?
He's my eldest, yeah. My original plan was not to put him in Green Hills. Why? I lived in Makati that time. Ang layo. And he very comfortable in Don Bosco. Very comfortable. Somewhere along the way, I met up with a fellow last night. He said, Kaloy, you're making a mistake. Sige. That's all I needed. I just needed to be told I was making a mistake. Yeah. So I told him to apply. And at that time, during his application, wala si Brother Victor Franco. He was out of the country or sorts of somebody. Yung nag-process ng application niya was, I don't know, Mr. Juan de la Cruz. I don't remember his name. Pina-reject yung application ni Casey.
Aray.
Hindi pwede to. Hindi pwede. Nag-appeal ako. When Brother Victor Franco arrived, he said, Kaloy, just bring your son here. Don't worry about it. Just bring your son. Tapos
Ganun
ang
lang.
kwento.
Tapos sa kwento.
Tapos ang kwento. And you know, over the years, no, my relationship with the brothers is very fraternal. My youngest daughter, who I wanted to transfer from a school in Alabang, San Beda, Alabang. I wanted to transfer her to Sobel. Incoming third year. Late na yung application, late na for enrollment, late na for everything. Technically, theoretically, hindi na pwede maglipat. The brother president at that time, I don't know if you know him, his name is Brother Dennis Magbanwa, or Bro Den, as they call him. He was the president of CSB for the longest time. And we knew him quite well, no? Fraternally and intimately. And I'll never forget this. My wife took my daughter there, went up to Bro Den and said, Bro Den, I want my daughter to study. Okay, fill up the form and let her come to school next week. Tapos, you know.
You were the lucky one. Yung iba, hindi.
You tell that na, mahirap mag-enter sa Lasal. Kailangan
Hirap na
may
yun.
backer ka, may pusher ka, meron donor ka. I don't know what else. Yeah, you know. And so it's very fraternal, you know. And so I'm happy about. Well, it's the relationship that you build individually as a family, you know. Especially if you want your children to grow and glow in Lasal, no? I mean, of course, if you send your children to other schools, I mean, that's up to you already, you know? You could be making a mistake. Like, I almost made a mistake.
Almost made a mistake.
Make that mistake with your children.
Oh,
Send them
Norel, magtrabaho na. Tumataas tuition.
So, eventually,
unless you mag-varsity to.
Eventually, getting into the DLSA, you have to start kasi at the chapter level. The DLSAA is composed of College of Business, College of Engineering, College of Education, and they have their own elections, no? And whoever is voted president of the chapter sits on the board of trustees of the DLSAA. Somewhere along the way, some friends of mine, schoolmates who I you know intimately said, "Come on, Kaloy, you come to our COB get together." At that time, there was a you know, I'm sure you've heard of him. No, his name is Henry Atayde. He's the cousin of Tony Atayde. Very active siya sa Lasal. Even up to now, no? Yep. Green pa yan. Green pa yung patch niya, no? And so he said, come to the you know, Club Filipino, we'll have a party. I said, sure, okay, I'll go. But little did I know that I got voted to be a member of the College of Business.
Oo nga. I know that.
College, kasi I finished commerce, no? BSBA. And that was the start. So eventually, as a chapter officer, I became a chapter president, not once, but then a second time. And then eventually, president of the DLSAA. So I'm now on my second term as president of the alumni. And my classmates sa college are saying, sa college to our president for life, Kaloy Velhagen.
Patay.
It cannot be, no? Even if my heart is there, you know, it won't be the case. I mean, eventually the younger ones
Kailangan.
But it has been a challenge, no? Again, as a pandemic. So we were successful with the Walk with Bro. We had Brother Victor Franco, we had Brother Armin Luistro, we had Brother Michael Broughton, we had Brother Ricky Laguda. Yeah. And then I said, after the program finished, I said, who's next? Isip ako, I will write the Superior General of the De La Salle Brothers, who's based in Rome. And so I wrote to him. I just said, Dear Brother Superior General, little did I know that he had been in La Salle Iligan for some time. So he knows the Philippine setting and all of that.
Brother
so
Felipe, Brother Iligan.
Yeah. So I wrote to, his name is Brother Robert Schiller. He's now the Superior General of all the La Salle Brothers worldwide. And I invited him. I said, brother, can you talk to the community here? And he said, sure. What do you want to talk about? I said, talk about, the LaSalle moving forward plan. Kasi pandemic time. So like, the superior general is like the chief operating officer of all that gives directions. And there are different, there is a Lasallian East Asia district. There's another district in America. There's district in Europe. There's district Australia, New Zealand. So,
around
the
world.
country, the globe, around the world. And of course, but I couldn't do it alone. No? I mean, I wrote to him, but I needed help from what we call the Lasallian Mission Office of DLSU. No? These are the people that I collaborated with in setting up all of these Walk with Bro programs. And they're there to support because they know the brothers, they know what they want to talk about, they line up the brothers. So there's a lot of collaboration between the DLSAA and the school itself, because who else was I going to work with but the school? There was nobody else to work with, pandemic time. So
Walang tao.
I'll work with the school. And it has been very enriching, no? It has been very enriching to know the people behind the university and the many things that they do. And my last Walk with Bro project, I had Brother Bernie Oka, who's now the president of DLSU. Of DLSU. He's now the new president of DLSU. He is also the president. He's also the president of Sobel. He was also recently appointed president of LaSalle Dasmariñas. I'm sorry, LaSalle Araneta, DLSU Araneta, Araneta, and Bagak. Okay, so he's running 4 LaSalle schools: DLSU Manila, Sobel, Bagak, and Araneta University. And he's been the president for about a month. He took over from Brother Ray Suplido, who was the president of TAF for the last 6 years.
Wala kayong anak, tito na nag-brother?
Walang interesado. I was hoping my youngest boy.
Oo nga.
My youngest si Kiko, he played U-Up Juniors for Sobel. And so I was hoping, baka you want to consider.
No way. Sa batch
Pati yung daughters ko na babae, baka kasi maging madre kayo. Gusto ko maging madre. Ayaw pa rin.
Ayaw pa rin.
Ayaw pa rin.
Ayaw pa rin. Ayaw pa rin.
Can you imagine if there was a priest or a brother or a mother in my family? Wow. I would have all the graces from the good Lord, and he would, what can I say? So this was all happening very quickly, So now that I've been but how did I get here? It took a lot of work and commitment, no? It's not based on popularity. Well, a little, it has to do with some popularity, no? Kasi Velhagen is known in LaSalle kasi I have 3 elder brothers from 3 older batches. So, kilala ko yung mga batchmates na mga kapatid ko, no? So, are you the brother of so-and-so? Are you the brother of so-and-so? Oh, yes, I'm the bunso, I'm the youngest, blah, 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 no? So, you have to work, no? It's not a sitting pretty position just porque pandemic. Kailangan magtrabaho. We have an office staff that we need to oversee. We have 5 people in the staff that we, handle our accounting, our database, our IT. That has to be managed. And walang bayad dito. This is all for commitment and all voluntary. Our employees are paid, and mind you, all throughout this pandemic, our employees have been paid all throughout this time. So there are many things we have to remember as Lazarites. Diba? We're all familiar with the FSC, no? Faith, Service, Communion, no? Faith, Service, and Communion. Sometimes the word zeal comes out, no? So I keep track of all of this, I follow on Facebook. Anything that's LaSalle, follow. Follow. LaSalle this, LaSalle Brothers, follow. LaSalle America, follow. LaSalle, basta may LaSalle, follow. So I get to know what's happening about LaSalle. Yung mga chapters, no? There are chapters in New York. There are
yung
chapters.
mga Olympian na LaSalle.
Yeah. When I posted our congratulatory PubMat in our DLSAA Facebook page, congratulations, Hidilyn Diaz from the De La Salle Alumni Association, and then with special mention of CSB because she's a student of CSB. wow, you know how many, the reach I had was over 300,000 reach up. In other words, this is how the Facebook, di ba, you measured how effective your Facebook is by its reach and its shares. And I had almost 1,000 shares. What does that tell me? People are looking at the DLSAA Facebook page. So I have a direct hand in managing the Facebook page. I post there things that I think are relevant. Besides about the brothers, nandyan na si boom, who got promoted, who's the newest brother, boom, it's there. Who has an achievement in LaSalle, boom, it's there. Okay, so you know, it's immersing oneself, and you as a core group, you have to immerse yourself, but you have to be sincere and dedicated. No, you're not trying to make poggy points here. People have to recognize you for the work that you've done. So to recap, basically, it has been a journey, there are sacrifices you have to make along the way. No, my wife says, I think you're more married to your school than you are to me. What can I say? You spend more time on Zoom with school than you do with me. I mean,
yeah,
it comes to
nagsiselos
it comes to that point,
Natato pa nga.
May tattoo pa nga
it was the
Pangalan ng asawa, di nilagay Pangalan ng Lasal.
Exactly, hindi yung misis ko or yung anak ko or yung
Hindi nilagay yung
it's Lasal.
hindi yung pangalan ng misis o anak
Hindi ako.
Pangalan.
My wife is an eduque, no? Her father is the late coach Tito Eduque, the man in white.
Kilala mo, Norel?
Yeah. Hindi pa
He
tayo
was
pinapanganak nun, pero yeah.
Wala pa, you're still in the womb or still in heaven. He was the one that gave us a championship in 71 and 74, no? So he was also a Lasalle. My brother-in-law is Ding Dong Eduque, no? He's popular in a band, he's a singer and all of that. So medyo Lasalle rin. And my wife, of course, she went to Marinol. And all her sisters, no? So they're all Marinol. And so it's green pa rin, di ba? Green pa rin.
Green ang palda. Hindi blue.
So
si Coach Eduque, UST yun, ha?
Tito Eduque played for UST in 1946. Why?
46
Kasi,
pa.
why did he? Because he was in high school before the war. In World War II, no? History na to, history. So, syempre, nag-break out ang World War II. So, no school. Now, in 1946, LaSalle was not yet open. Di pa bukas ang LaSalle kasi syempre, damage yung building. So, UST first opened their doors. And so, my father-in-law entered UST on a scholarship in 1946 and gave UST a championship.
Ay, sayang.
Yes.
On its first year. In 1947, LaSalle, I think, opened and he went back to LaSalle without scholarship. Walang scholarship. Umalik siya sa De La Salle College, ELSC. And
history,
he became, and he gave LaSalle championships. He went into regional sports, international basketball, Olympian, and all of that. And he was recognized for his contribution. He got the outstanding awards from the De La Salle Alumni Association. So in closing, guys, you have a lot on your hands as far as your Silver Jubilee is concerned. And it does not end there. Because there's still 30, there's still 35, there's still 40, there's still 45, and there's 50. And don't wait from 25 to 50. Don't do any, don't do zero between 25 because your class will just naturally fade away. Sayang lang all the work.
Like ibang batches, no? You witness na.
Yeah.
Kung walang katulad natin
it happens talaga, nag-fade away, no? Isang batch.
Yeah. So don't let that happen to you. As the saying goes, no, keep the animo burning. Keep the animo burning. Don't you gotta, even if it's virtual, even if it's Zoom, a batch here. You know what we have, and I'm proud to say, every Saturday we have a rosary group.
Oh.
Every Saturday, we have a rosary group.
Kaya ba
We
natin yan,
easily
Bob?
reach 15 to 20
Kakayanin
guys.
yan.
Kakayanin natin yan. Let's
Kakayanin
try.
natin
And
yan.
this,
Magdasal tayo.
yeah, because these guys, these are sincere, they're prayerful people. There will always be that prayerful group. And sometimes the guys that you least expect to be
PJ, sama
prayerful
natin si
will-
PJ. Bob,
Actually,
para
di ba
mag-lead.
sa kumbaga parang you utilize the strengths of your batch
Yeah.
mates.
Yeah.
So you can
yeah.
create these small groups, di ba?
Yeah, yeah. We have, what's the name of our Viber group for the Rosary? It's called Healing, Healing, Healing All. Because people come to pray because they need to be healed physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or whatever. Because
Kaya ba
that's what
natin yan,
people
Bob?
are looking for.
Gawa na tayo,
Oh,
Bob.
Yeah.
magagawa natin yan. And it's
Okay,
all
okay.
about the will din naman.
And these days, it can be very depressing for some of us. It can be depressing because of this pandemic.
Try natin
And you
gumawa
will
ng
have-
prayer group.
Yeah, you will
Lala
have
na ako,
classmates
boss.
who will experience tragedies of their own.
Let's
You will
try,
have
let's try.
classmates.
Let's try that.
Yeah,
Let's try that.
spiritual and it's really something.
And it's not
na-
only unique to our class, ha? Yung meron sa 68, meron sa 69, meron sa 71, meron pala iba. It's there.
Let's try
So
that.
those are
Bob.
one of the things I recommend.
Actually, meron kami mga perfect combinations dyan sa group na yan. So, we'll just call them out.
Can you
na lang.
ask some question, Bob? Okay, any question to
Si
add?
Kiko, I believe may question si Kiko eh.
Yeah. So syempre 'di ba being the alumni president din, no. So parang nagiging 'di ba parang pagdating ng sabihin natin ng UAAP, especially basketball, sobrang nandiyan yung paglabas ng passionate ng mga lasalista, especially pagkalaban ng Ateneo. Was there a time na parang sa sobra, syempre being a last light, naka-encounter ka na ba na parang nakipag-away sa kabilang side?
Even during my time in college, it was NCAA, no? NCAA. And of course, LaSalle got kicked out. Well, not kicked out. We chose to leave the NCAA because of the suntukan with Letran and all of that there in Rizal Memorial. No? So, even during my time in college and even after college, because I would catch as many games as I could. No, I mean that was where your passion would really come out. And but over the years, as the Alumni Association president, normally the advantage of being a member of the board of trustees, automatically may tickets. Okay? So, hindi kailangan magpila. So, prior pandemic, during the game, siyempre, I was sitting as a chapter president. Every game, I had 2 tickets for every game.
Matik.
I can get as much as 4, no? So, that was the least of my worries as far as tickets. Now, siyempre, during the games, no? Prior to being active in the association, but always going as many games as I could, no? We had our fair share of suntukan and all of that in the court. In the court. Panahon pa ni, I cannot remember some of those guys, the players of Ateneo, no? I mean, it really gets to be personal, I mean, even if we are at fault, siyempre, we will never say it's our fault, di ba? Even if it's our fault.
Yun nga, yung panahon namin, alam na namin yung kwento eh. Yung parang
diba?
sinasara yung wakwak, Ortigas.
Yeah. Well, one time in high school, no? Ateneo had to do a motorcade around Green Hills. It was, I think, the opening of, I don't know, NCAA. They went to our school. Boy, when they passed through the Baco, all the stones were flying. But they got even with us. Kasi remember, the games were held at Eagle's Nest, di ba? So we would go there by buses, our school buses, and go back to the campus with our buses. We were also ambushed There, malapit sa may Katipunan, yung talagang stones coming our way, the bus stops, saan kayo? You know, after that, sige, wala na, sige, uwi na tayo. Yeah. So it goes to the territory, no?
Territory. Rivalry starts at UAP.
Yeah. Well, the best of friends and the worst of enemies between us and the other school. No?
You have also friends in the other school, sir?
What did you say?
You
Papi,
have
what did you say?
you have friends ba the other school?
Don't say sir, huh?
Oo,
Tito
nga
pala,
pala.
tito. Tito. You have friends ba the other
My
school?
friends from the other school, I can only count a handful of them.
Okay.
Just a handful. Yung close friends, most of them from Kasiwe in high school. The girls' school that we were always flirting with was Assumption San Lorenzo. That's where we would hang out. And the Ateneo High School 70, our counterpart, was also there. Because the Assumptionistas would hang out with the Ateneans and the Lasalistas of that same year, no? Pag may party, the Lasalistas will be there, the Atenistas will be there, basically from the same. I got to know a few, and they're really nice guys. But, you know, I really don't know. Many of them, no. Over the years, like I said, only a handful of guys that I really can call a friend, no? Of others. Just a handful. What can I say?
Siguro vice versa. Mutual.
Vice versa, probably the same way. Who do they know from the south? I know this guy, that guy. Few guys. I can count them with my fingers. So like I said, best of friends or worst of enemies.
Bakit?
So, Tito Kaloy. Sige, Papi. Go.
Tatanong ko lang, bakit pinili yung Green Hills kaysa Sobel sa UAP?
Well, kasi from what I know, when Sobel was put up as a high school, it was put up
84, 1984,
it was put up. You see, even my watch is LaSalle Archer watch. Given to me by my children, they give to me.
Kerisi.
LaSalle Archer.
Okay. We're planning to have our watch rin kasi dito.
Yeah. So this is the Animo watch.
May see.
Okay, there's the Archer.
Yan nga.
Yan.
So this was one of the first 50 that came out from Sobel. They were the ones that rolled it out. So as I was saying, when Sobel was put up, it was put up as the high school of DLSU. Okay, so that's why DLSU was the college team, senior, and Sobel was the junior team. Now, when CSB entered the NCAA, they needed a high school team. So they went to, it became Green Hills. So
Green Hills.
Whether that's politics or not, I wouldn't know. But those were the choices that the brothers made.
Tito Kaloy, so we're in that topic ngayon about Green Hills din naman, di ba? So recently, we've learned that LaSalle Green Hills is the only school for all boys ng LaSalle community.
Was, past tense na yan.
Was. Okay, was na. So, technically, anong take mo dyan?
Well, you know, we were hoping the old boys, like my classmates, you know, maybe also from the 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, the more traditional type. Siyempre, we wanted Green Hills to be the only school for boys. It's the same way we reacted when we were in college in TAF, when the brothers wanted to make TAF co-ed. We said, no, we want DLSC, De La Salle College, to remain an all-boys school. But siyempre, it never materialized because the brothers felt otherwise, no? So, sure, the president now, Brother Dodo Fernandez, he's the president. I'm sure he got a lot of flack from the community. Brother, well, what did they say? To make the male population more competitive, you know, to bring up the standards. Well, what can I say? No, those are the signs of the time. So, to my knowledge, there is no more. I can think of no more LaSalle school that is an all-boys school. Well, no, I wouldn't know. Well, you know, most of the schools of LaSalle worldwide are co-educational. And I think DLSU, no, I'm sorry, Green Hills, I think was the last, and you're right, Papi, I think it was probably the last LaSalle school worldwide that was an all-boys school. So what do I think about that? I don't like it, but that's just my voice. That's just my voice, no? And of course, the brothers made a choice. I respect the brothers for making that choice.
It's moving
You,
forward.
how do you feel about it?
Well, as
Yeah,
as a all boys community na grow up in a boys, a brotherhood of boys, and then I have most of my friends are boys. Parang mas gusto ko na all boys talaga. Syempre doon ako nagsimula eh. To changing times, well, maybe it's time to move forward. Yun
So,
lang eh.
yeah,
Cannot
you're right,
control,
Papi. Sign of the times, di ba? My classmates are saying, wow, swerte sila. Bakit hindi yung panahon namin may girls? Oh, swerte yung mga students.
Ikaw, Bob,
That's a different thinking already.
What can you say, Bob?
Hindi ako, ang pakaramdam ko, sayang. Kasi yun na lang ang natitira na all boys eh. Sayang eh. So, ano yung baging unique ng Green Hills kesa sa iba? Yun na lang. Pero siguro, there are other areas na we can be also unique. Kasi mga pogi doon ang galing. So, so yun. Ganun na
At
lang.
least hindi sila mahirapan ngayon mag-soiree. Tayo noon.
Wala na. Dati, hirap na hirap pa mag-soiree, no?
Oo. Interactions.
Okay, silip ka lang sa kabilang upuan. Parang may interaction ka na araw-araw, di ba?
Ikaw, Kiko, what's your point about co-ed or LaSalle or not? Do you like it? Or...
Sa akin naman marami kasing school na may co-ed na eh. So ako, mas gusto ko rin siguro na mag-remain na all boys. Pero like what you said, changing na eh. Nag-change na yung landscape ng So of course we have to adapt na rin. And of course baka, I'm not sure kung ano yung naging data nila dyan. Kasi syempre hindi naman may pupush yan kung wala silang historical data for that, mga research. Baka mamaya kumukonti na yung enrollment ng mga lalaki. Pero maraming nag-i-inquire na mga for babae. Kaya siguro nag-open up sila. Pero personally ako, mas gusto ko na all boys pa rin. Pero syempre, well, we have to accept the changes.
Savior na lang yung all boys na alam ko. Don Bosco. Yan, yung mga yan na lang, yung mga few na lang
I cannot imagine Don Bosco, the Salesians opening up the doors. But I'm sure it's in a piece of paper on their desk somewhere that maybe one day, as Kiko said, the landscape will change again. No?
Okay. Let's go to the next part of our for our podcast. I'm gonna show you your pictures in Facebook, some of them, and then explain.
Oh my gosh.
Yan.
Oh,
Can you see that?
Not yet.
Can you see it, Tito?
Oh my.
Who's that? Who's that?
See.
Parang artista.
Yeah.
What is this taken? And say something about that.
I wish I could remember, Papi, but I have this picture in my album somewhere, and maybe it could be I was maybe fresh out of college, possibly. I would have to see what was the bigger picture, no?
Mataas na yung hairline. Ito na yung simula.
Oh, may buhok pa ako dyan.
Pero mataas na hairline. Okay.
Well, yung daddy ko, very high yung hairline, so it's genetic, I think.
Si Casey rin.
The next picture.
Si Casey, mataas yung hairline.
Pero Tito, totoo yung sinasabi mo dati. Pag makasalubong mo nga sa kalsada to, marunong ba mag-Tagalog to? Pag nakita mo nga,
in my professional career, I only learned to get more comfortable speaking Tagalog during my professional career because of the people that I was exposed to, no. And then the funny part is when they say, "Sir, excuse me, sir, what is your business here?" Bakit? Ano akala mo sa akin? Foreigner? Hindi na English mo? I say, sorry. Akala ko foreigner kasi.
Kala investor, no, Tito?
Oh, it always happens. Sometimes I just keep quiet.
Yung bayad sa kanya, mas mataas kasi foreigner price eh.
I just keep quiet. I let them talk for a while. And then I say, ay, marunong pala mag-Tagalog. It's fun. I get to fool a few people
hindi
once
natin
in a while.
maluloko to.
Actually, Tito Kaloy, si Papi,
Yeah.
nararanasan rin niya yan. Di ba, Papi?
Alam mo, si Papi, yung, I always see him with your best friend, si Francisco. What's his first name? Paulo. I worked for the family, no? Part of my career, I spent 3 years working for Paulo Francisco, his father, a very nice man. And of course, Paulo has a brother, JR, who's also from Green Hills, no? And they put up a hotel in here in Tagaytay called One Tagaytay Place, no? And I was fortunate enough to work for the family, and it's always a good thing to work for fellow Lasalites, you know? There's some magic in that. If you work for an Atenista, it's going. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. If you work for
Edit
somebody
natin.
else,
Other school.
You work for someone from medyo mahirap yan, no? But Papi, that I'm being sincere about that. Having worked with Paulo, JR, and his father, I grew with them, and I was very happy that I was with them for 3 years at One Tagaytay Place.
Okay.
Okay. What else do you want me to see?
This is a picture of the new campus of the LSU. Have you seen it?
You know, yeah. My heart only goes out to the LS building, no, the letter H.
Oh, okay.
Kasi behind is you have the
bago na yan,
NBC
mga bago na
building.
yan eh.
And then of course, you know, we had our PE in Rizal Memorial. There was a bridge.
The back door.
There was a bridge. Yeah, the back door that would lead to Rizal Memorial. And of course, the entire McDonald's, where the McDonald's was our parking lot. That was where
Yun ang mahirap sa Lasal. Yun ang mahirap sa Lasal, parking lot.
Yeah, mahirap
Tsaka
ang
baha.
parking, yeah.
Tsaka baha.
Well, I went through that. My children, at least those that went to TAF, they went
Gumaling ang
through
parking
that as well.
skills. Tsaka communication
So,
skills.
you know, that my classroom, if you're looking at the building, the south gate, no, that's where my classroom was, closest to the field. That was my grade 7 classroom. My college classes were at the engineering building, Velasco. That was where we had some of our commerce classes. Because during my time, the engineering classes were in the evening, and non-engineering like commerce and Leacom, we were holding classes during the day.
Sa Miguel.
So that's why, in TAF, no, that's why very seldom did we mix with the engineers and vice versa.
Okay.
But like I said, no, I saw the Henry C go up. I saw all of this happen
from
the years. And of course,
to their years.
the sad part was losing our football field.
Yun ang
That's where the many older Lasalistas feel bad about. Was the field.
Yung maliit na yon pinagtsatsagaan. Sige, tanggalin na natin yan. Okay, next picture. Yan, the Green Hills itself.
Oh, you know, our class, if I'm not mistaken, kasi I was 4th year when Green Hills opened. Oh yeah,
dome. Okay.
Our 4th year classes, yeah. I think we were the first to occupy. I think I recall we were the first to occupy. This was in sometime 1970 when Benilde was open, and at that time we had a smoking room, smoking Yossi.
Sa Green Hills.
We had a smoke. Yeah, in the fort, we had a smoking room, and of course. We smoked more than cigarettes, if you know what I mean. The brothers were just laughing at us. Okay naman yung mga brothers at that time.
Okay, next picture. Yeah, ito, the LaSalle statue. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is Tito. Yeah. Well, this was.
Ito yung tattoo mo, yung tattoo.
But you know.
Bakit pala pinili Archer ang Lasal?
I'm not that much of a good historian with regards to the Archer, but as to why the green, because the first brothers that came to the Philippines were the Irish brothers, the Irish, and so the Irish were also, their green was their was their color. Now, the archer, if you I don't know, in Taft, the old gym was called the Athanasius Gym, and there was an archer that was embedded on the wall, and that was the real Lasallian archer. This one, if you look at it, it doesn't have the quiver for his arrows that's normally around this waistline, no? But this monument was donated by a high school class, and if you enlarge it some more, the names are there as to who. The names are there. So that is what some colleges
Araneta.
or what some classes did.
Araneta. Bachman.
Yeah. So
Kurt
these are
Bachman.
Benito Araneta. These are prominent Lasallian in their own respective fields of expertise. No, some were into sports, some were into business, and so this was their way of giving back. Their particular college class. So you see some names there, and maybe they put together. They said, let's give something back to school. So this is
one way.
this is what it represents. Yeah, giving back to school.
Okay. Yan tayo, Tito, with my friend.
Oh, see? I knew this was coming. I remember this day, Papi.
Yes.
I remember this day.
Mm.
Yep. I was a lot slimmer then. So I was
with some hair.
Following my idol. I was following my idol, Papi, you know? No, Papi, you're my physical fitness idol, Bare.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I was sitting behind you guys.
Yes.
This was a Lasal Ateneo ba yan? Was it a Lasal Ateneo nga? I don't
remember. May artista pa sa likod, si ano.
And my wife, you can see my wife there right behind your head with her glasses on.
Glasses. Okay. Okay.
That was a good day.
Roberto Ortega yun
Roberto Ortega nga. It's some of the games are here.
Oh, you're very good in your research, ha, Papi? Magaling ka maghanap. So, yeah.
Some of our games
with my daughter.
Your daughter naman.
There I am with my daughter. Now, you must remember, there is a correct way of raising your fist. There's a correct way of pumping the air, no?
Yeah.
There's a correct way. Some people, like that. Baduy yan, pare. Baduy. That's wrong.
Baduy yan.
You have to punch the air. Punch the air.
Above.
It's not even like that, ha? Mali yan. If you look at this picture, look at me. Diretso, di ba?
Yung katabi mo.
Yung anak ko. Tignan mo yung anak ko to my right. Mali yan. Okay?
Napagod na.
Sometimes mga iba, it's too much to the right. So I always get in it, You must, when you sing the alma mater, do it right. Punch the air. Punch the air,
God.
That way, it's not this way, it's not that way.
Hindi yung nakabend na ganyan.
Minsan, there's a lazy way of doing it.
Pag nagte-text, dapat talaga diretso talaga. Oo nga naman.
Do it right.
Do it right.
That's one of my pet peeves. I hate it when they
dapat tinuturo yan dati pa. Di namin alam kasi di namin alam. Kasi I know, just ganyan lang. And then, pagkatapos hill na.
Just look at me how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Yan, bragging rights lang.
Yeah. This is our homecoming. Sa DLSU homecoming.
This is our 50th. This is our 50th.
This is your 50th.
So if you look at my...
meron pala kayong batchmate na brother itong katabi nyo.
No, that's not a brother.
Ito.
He's my best friend from Australia.
I thought this is a brother.
We grew up together in San Lorenzo Village. We grew up together. We were buddies since we were grade 5. We're wearing masks at that time kasi may news na of the pandemic. So, in front of me, in dark, is a priest. There's on my left, you see someone in dark, naka-glasses. Kasi we have 2 classmates from our high school class that became Opus Dei priest.
Opus Dei priest. Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that whenever we have a class mass, they come and say the mass for us. So it's always nice to have classmates for priests. Yeah, so this was our 50th. This was still early in the evening. We were still taking it light.
Masaya
Konti
pa.
pang beer lang sa table. Pero as we got late, ano yan, puno na yan with lechon, with beer.
Bumabadoy na yung homecoming eh. Pinagbabawal na ng brother. Papakit na ng papakit, lalo na pag may girls na. Okay.
We went through that, ha? We've seen a lot of parties, yung wild homecoming, depende sa batch.
Depende sa batch.
So, okay. So this one, if you notice, the shirt is different, no? So that was, I think, I'm not sure. That's our shirt of our 45th, I think, no? So again, syempre, we're all going wild. And I'm there somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I see myself there. So we're just happy to be together, guys. It's that fellowship. You have to have that very strong, you need to be glued to each other.
Yan, kailangan
You need
talaga.
to be glued to each other.
And then, other batchmate will follow eventually to be glued.
Yes.
To be, Kasi iba, parang, yung iba hindi sumasama, bad experience yung ano nila, yung high school.
Do you have a Viber group? May Viber group
Yes,
ba kayo?
yes. Viber, Messenger, and then Facebook.
How many are you in your Viber group?
100 plus, I think.
Good.
May max eh.
We have 160. But there's only a few that will talk every day, no?
Yeah.
Marami dyan, they watch, they listen, they read, and if they want to come. But there are those that will monopolize the air all the time, no? But that's how it is.
May mga good batchmate and meron rin bad batchmate.
Actually, in our class, we have a Viber group for politics. We have a Viber group for other stuff, yung mga green stuff that should not be said.
Okay.
And then we have a Viber group where we are prayerful. So you cannot talk politics, you cannot make bastusan in our Viber group. Bawal yan.
Yan. Yan ako binabatas ko eh kasi may mga
You have to go to another group.
yan.
So,
I-kick ka doon. Yan. Ito naman si your son naman, Casey. We're playing basketball. Yeah, this one, right?
Nasaan ba siya?
Dito sa far right.
There is with his wild black tattoo on his he has that tattoo on him. Yeah.
Yan.
Yeah, in Green Hills kasi, there was no NCAA at that time, no? When Casey was playing, it was a different league. So he was playing with varsity. But by the time he graduated, that's when LaSalle Green Hills entered the NCAA. So Green Hills was not into any
2000.
NCAA at that time, no?
So,
birthmark ba yun, Tito? Yung ano niya dito? Sa ano niya?
That's a birthmark. That's right.
That's a birthmark.
That's right. That's his birthmark. That's his lucky birth. If you notice also with Casey, I don't know if you know, he's always playing with his hair like that.
Kaya naubos.
One of those habits. Always like that.
Kaka naubos.
Even kasi he has twins, no? Na 2-year-old twin girls, no? Pati yung isang daughter niya, ginaganon pa rin niya.
Wow.
It's genetic also.
Genetic. Ito naman, your best friend.
Yeah. And I was a bit on my plump side at that time. Yeah. He's a good man. Yeah, he's a good man. And if you notice, even
our batchmate is related to Archie King. Rosario. That's the wife of...
Well, that's his... Archie's middle name is Rosario. His mother is
Rosario. Our batchmate is Chad Rosario.
Yeah, so Archie is the uncle.
Uncle niya. Yung cousin niya yung mga anak.
So if you notice, I'm wearing a green shirt. My jacket is a LaSalle jacket. That's the LaSalle Washington DC chapter. So they gave me a jacket. My glasses, my glass holder is green. So what can I say? I take it everywhere with me.
And everybody look up to you. Yeah, ito some of the yan. Yung classroom mo ba to?
That's the that's I'm glad you have this. That's the circular group. So if you see me, I'm wearing those crazy pants, front row, second from right.
Yun.
That's me.
Puti
Okay. This was
Millennial na.
1973.
Millennial. Yung buhok mo kapal.
Oh, look at our hair at that time, di ba? And then you see their brother Gus Booker,
Si Brother Gus
standing
pala. Yun.
fourth from right, no? Fourth from right. He
Ito
was
yung-
that. So that's our circulo. Circulo.
It's a club.
Grandfather na search into.
Ito yung grandfather na search-in sila.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's correct.
okay.
So that's how we looked like in 1973.
Okay. Ito naman, si our tito, may tito. Yeah, si
Yeah,
Tito Henry.
Tony.
Tony.
I'm glad you have him, Papi. Talagang very close to our class and to me in particular. And this month of September 22, is his first death anniversary. First death anniversary. of Tony.
And your friend is Ben Veloso.
Oh, Ben Veloso is also my classmate since grade school. May
Kasi
he rest in peace.
Ben Veloso is the tito of our batchmate, Joseph Veloso.
Yeah. So Ben was also awarded by the DLSAA as an outstanding athlete because he was a football player for DLSU. But
Ben
may he
Veloso.
rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace.
Pero
Also.
even his brothers were classmates of my brothers. And siyempre,
Apat sila eh.
VEL siya, no? Velo, H-O. VELO, ako VELH. So he was like always behind me, no? When it came to our seating arrangement. So velhagen, VELO, Veloso siya.
Pero athlete yun eh, Philippine team.
Philippine
Super.
team, yeah. Magaling siya sa football. So here are
Talagang
some pictures.
Ito naman yung picture Sir
With
Collage
Tony.
niya. It's Coach Tony.
Yeah, with Tony, yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, he was there. We did a lot together for our class. I couldn't have done it without
Is your
him.
batchmate mo siya, sir? Tito?
Yes,
70,
Tony is my.
70.
But he finished grade school in Green Hills, no? I finished grade school in Taft. So we became buddies in. Actually, we only became close after high school, or even after college, because Tony left for the States. So Tony took his children, Aaron and Anthony. They went to the States. They grew up there. Then eventually they came back home. So actually, Tony and I only became close. Way after. So this is my grade 4
Grade 4 in DLSU.
at DLSC.
DLSC.
Excuse me. De La Salle College, not DLSU. Lipat tayo, no?
Yung pants nyo, khaki.
Khaki yan. Either short
Khaki.
pants or long pants.
And then yung
Alam mo
patch.
yung buong picture kaki eh, no?
Patch was the La Salle Star, no? DLSC.
LaSalle Star. LaSalle Star. Okay. Mga tisoy, mga tisoy.
Yeah, if you look in the back, mga classmates ko, mga Clapperols,
Mga tisoy.
Olmos, Rojas, Elordi, and of course, but we had very Filipino-sounding names, no? Acuña, sino pa na? Abaya, Gonzales, Bocobo, Rivero, Urtula.
Okay.
But the mestizo classmates were Yoldi, Vicente, of course, Velhagen. No? Hey, I like that, Papi. I'm glad you did that. That came as a surprise. Magaling yan.
Thank you. Magaling lang tayo mag-research.
Ano yan?
Eh, wala namang sikreto. Facebook is an open book.
Yeah, open book naman tayo. And then, let's talk about yung mga, the pictures itself. Yan.
Yeah.
You have any question pa about LaSalle, Bob, and then Pico, para habang we can end our podcast na.
It was a very colorful journey way back.
Way
Sa
back.
panahon ni Tito.
And moving
So guys,
forward,
thank you very much. No?
parang how to be a better Lasallian pala. Yan, how to move on and then to continue.
To put it in simple words, no? Just remember that as a Lasallian, what defines you as a Lasalite, no? Faith, service, and communion. The fact that you're doing this, you are already doing a service to your class and to the community. Communion, when we talk about communion, community, you are harnessing, you are keeping your community. Your community goes beyond borders. So it's not just your class, but it's the school. And of course, faith. And of course, because, our founder, St. John Baptist de La Salle, his faith in our Lord. So there has to be some spirituality. You don't have to be a Roman Catholic to be a Lasalite. Okay? Because now, La Salle Iligan, the students, they're Muslims. Okay? Even the La Salle schools in Hong Kong, no one is a Catholic in Hong Kong. They're either Buddhist or whatever, but they're all strong in faith. Faith, you can use that to say faith in yourself, faith in our founder, faith in our Lord Almighty, or if you're a Buddhist, the Buddha, or if you're Muslim, it could be different, no? But that remains constant, no? It's your faith, service, and communion. And your zeal, what service is zeal of yung gusto, the animo. That's why the animo spirit, you do it with a lot of gusto. You do it because you want to, because you have this thing for La Salle. And as I mentioned, no, for some of us, we believe in the rosary. I'm not ashamed about that. That's what the brothers taught me, and I'm not ashamed. And I tell my children, we try to have our rosary time together. And I said, show me your rosary. Okay? Whether it's a bracelet rosary or whatever. And I've discovered that I have classmates that enjoy this fellowship by saying the rosary together every Saturday. We're just a few, no? But we represent a bigger class. So that is what defines. Maybe to some degree, teka muna, medyo sobra na yan, mayabang na yan. No, don't be a proud Lasallian. Be a proud Lasalite. The other schools teach the same thing. Okay, of course, I won't mention that anymore, but they're taught the same thing. Be proud of your school, and in this case, show the animo spirit wherever you are, and be, very important, be that Christian gentleman.
5C, pare, mga 5C, makakalimutan natin.
Christian achievers for God and country. And lalo na, malapit na ang politics, di ba? Malapit na ang election. And La Salle, of course, there's Chel Jokno, who's a faculty member of the College of Law. And then, of course,
running for senator.
Yeah. And then, so let's see how the landscape will look like as we approach election, especially from La Salle.
Okay. Bob, you have anything to say or question?
Wala na. Wala na
say
akong
something.
tanong. By the way, meron tayong bisita dito, isa sa batchmate namin.
Pakilala muna natin. Ted Camacho, can you unmute? Ayan. Do you have any question about our guest, the president?
Hi, Ted.
Good evening, sir. Sorry, I was late. I just had to do some family time. And sir, like you, I'm also through and through La Salle, from kinder to college.
Bawal yung other school you mentioned, Ted. Bawal.
DLSU.
So,
DLSU
La Salle to DLSU all the way. So I was also
what was your course in DLSU, Ted? What did
business
you finish?
management, sir. Business management.
So your College of Business.
Yeah.
Ito ang next question.
Yes.
Lifetime member ka ba ng DLSU?
Yan.
So I'm actually I think so, but I'm not. I stopped getting emails, so but
prove it to me. No,
I would be glad to. I would be glad to.
Siya yung president ng business.
It's an honor, sir. It's an honor.
Ng business of business.
Just go. You can go online.
Okay.
And pay online and get your e-card.
Okay.
Your lifetime card if you're not.
I'll get yet. I'll get to it.
Ed, kasi we're talking about the how Lasallian is kaloy.
Oh yeah.
Velhagen talaga. Sobra pa. Nagpatato siya, wala pa yung name ng anak niya. Name na Lasallian. Ganun ka-hardcore. Yan. Nakaka-inspire yung mga sinasabi ni Sir Tito Kaloy. Any question?
Sir, I was able to pick up in the latter parts of with the pictures and of especially in last message, no. So very kahit a few lang, I can relate to what you're saying because yun nga, no. I'm also like many of us talaga diehard Lasal. And then yun nga, it's just imagine we're just 5 year, but there are siguro hundreds or thousands that are like us that are diehard Lasal na talagang who keep the fire burning, ika nga. So we pass on to our generation. So thank you, sir, for inspiring our batch and for allowing to guest in Papi Jerome's
if you guys ever see me outside, assuming that it's safe, please don't go up to me and say sir, okay?
Tito.
Tito.
Always fine.
Yeah.
After all,
my uncle also is from DLSU, so din.
What's his name?
Lito Camacho. Jose Isidro Camacho.
Oh, I know the name. I may not know him personally, but I know the name Camacho.
So he's also a LaSalle graduate.
Okay. Let's end remarks na lang para end this podcast. Bob, any message to our guest today, special guest? Thank you.
No. I was so proud to share this moment with Tito. With everybody from the Lasallian community looking up to him, who he is. Prior to this discussion, syempre, we only know him as a president of the alumni. He was a father of our batchmate. Ganun lang naman eh. But we've known him more because he's so open in sharing that to us. And with that, sir, thank you so much for spending that time with us. It's really an honor from my end, and not only I believe from my end, but from the people who's gonna watch this podcast from our batch. Maraming salamat, Tito. It's been an honor.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Sana more power sa career, sa health. Ingat kayo lagi. And more strength in everything what you do.
You have my expectations of your class are now very high because before, who is 98? Well, yeah, my son Casey is 98. Yeah. But when Papi came to me and said you're preparing for your 25th, I said, whoa. My eyes, wow, okay. And so my expectations of you guys are very high, and I hope to.
We deliver.
You will deliver. I'm not saying I hope you will. I know you will.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you will. With guys like you who are committed, don't let me down, pare. I'm going to be asking my son Casey. Casey, kumusta ang klase mo?
Nako.
So meron akong inside information.
Yes.
I will
do our best talaga.
Pressure yan.
So
when I see you guys next time, when I see you guys next time, dapat nakatattoo na kayo, ha?
Pwede. Pag-isipan yan.
Gamitan natin ang Rexona yan, Tito.
Ikaw, Kiko, may sasabihin ka ba, Kiko? Thank you.
Thank you for the time, Tito Kaloy. Kasi nowadays talaga ang hirap makahanap ng time, especially kunyari kahit na naka-work from home tayo lahat or kaya hindi tayo lumalabas. Syempre iba pa rin yung feeling na nagkikita kayo di ba? Pero with this, syempre, of course, you want time na magpahinga, ganyan, pero you still lend your time to our podcast. And we are thankful for that, especially na you shared your experiences and your story as being a Lasallian. So malaking bagay sa amin yun. Siguro yung alam din ni na Papi yan, hindi pa ako nakakapunta ni isang alumni homecoming. Siguro pagdating ng batch namin dyan, ako pupunta pag yung anniversary namin.
Thank you, Kiko. Thank you, Kiko. Ikaw, Ted, anything to say? Or,
Yeah. So again, sorry for being late. So it's so unfortunate that I was, but definitely I will watch yung mga previous usapan, but definitely I'll catch up na ano. But again, sir, I wouldn't miss this, no? Kasi again, Lasal is a brotherhood more than anything. Like, and any people can call bro, di ba? That's the term now, eh. Parang, ano, but definitely pag Lasal, it's really the essence of being brothers, no? So, I wouldn't want to miss this, kaya nga, kahit late, I wanted to, ano. But, yun nga, of course, yung being said that na brothers, we always look up to our older batches for some guidance and, ano, and I think, this is very fitting na you're our guest, no? Tito, no? If I may call you Tito.
Of course, I've been saying that from the very beginning. So,
Yeah, so
like I
it's
said,
very
whenever you see
fitting
me,
yeah, it definitely the essence of this podcast really is about Lasal and life of being a Lasalian, and it's very fitting that Papi Jerome got you as a guest. So it's really an honor, and thank you for sharing in behalf of Lasal 98. Thank you for giving us your wisdom, and thank you. We look forward to meeting you in person. We look forward to meeting you in person. So thank you, and God bless, sir. Stay safe always, sir. Thanks.
thank you. You guys too.
Okay,
Maraming salamat. You
in
guys
my
too.
part,
Thank you.
maraming salamat, Tito Kaloy, sa oras na binigay niyo sa amin. And then we learn a lot sa mga history ng Lasal from the beginning, yung pinagdaanan mo as a person and who you are now as a adult and as a lolo. And and sa lolo, and pass and
the
pass
best.
on your bleed green to your apo, and nakakahawa yung essence mo as a alumni ba tawag sa amin, yung alumni o younger alumni na kailangan na look up to. Dapat ganyan rin kami. Yung batch ko na batch 98, gusto namin maging ganyan rin kami, na united, connected, and helping others. Yun importante. Kaya nga naman tayo nandito. Brotherhood to others, to help us, to guide us, consult us, to be a better human being, better Lasalian, and better animo. Yeah. Maraming salamat, Tito Kaloy Velhagen, for your time. Marami kami natuto. Yan.
Very welcome.
Yan. Say some animo naman. Ikaw naman, last words naman, Tito Kaloy, to our batch 98.
Again, no, there will be younger batches also that you need to be a big brother to. Okay, so there will be others who will be looking up to you. So I hope that you also maintain the standards that you've set as a class in terms of contribution, not just in money, but in time. In Green Hills, I remember they had the Big Brother project where the brothers invited us to come and talk to the high school guys, no, to share about their careers, help them find direction. And so this early, my question to you is, what are you giving back to LaSalle Green Hills? What is it? Do you have something already in mind? It doesn't have to be money, like I said, it can be in time. Okay, you can look into their scholarship program. It's very interesting, and I've in my class interviewed a few of the scholars, and it's very sad to hear their plight, how challenging it is for them, especially now. Yet they have this desire to earn an education from a LaSalle school. And of course, I'm sure there are other batches that want to give back through that program as well. You may want to look into that. So it's not all fellowship, but also please don't forget, watch over your own brothers, because many of them will be in need one way or the other. Like I said, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, they will be in need, and they will turn to you first for help. So in whatever way you can help them, guide them, counsel them, and let them know that you are all brothers.
Yes.
Okay?
Tama. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Oy, nga pala, yung
Subscribe to
mga subscribers natin, ha. Naka-hit na tayo ng 120, ha. Road to 200 tayo, ha.
So when this is out, so that the edited version, because I'd like to look at that as well. No?
Of course. I will email you the raw version, Tito.
Okay. Okay.
Pero and the edited para meron kayo remembrance.
Picture,
Mga
picture.
mga
Wala pa tayong
kabats,
picture. Wala pa tayong
subscribe
picture.
kayo
Bob, picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. What? Solo, Tito, solo. Or solo. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay. Bob,
Passport
anything
Tito,
to say?
Ayun lang, subscribe lang tayo sa mga ano. Nga pala, Tito, anything to promote? Any projects that you want to promote or mention?
Well, I'd like to encourage all batches from Green Hills to please look into the scholarship program of LaSalle Green Hills, especially for what they call the alternative learning system, what used to be the Adult Night High School. No? What used to be the Adult Night High School is now called the Alternative Learning System, or ALS. And they have scholars for the junior and senior high school.
High school.
It won't cost much. I'm sure one of you or a classmate, one like that, wouldn't be difficult. But you
Look
may
up to
want
it. Tingnan ko.
look into it, no? Because that's one way of giving back to
Tama.
LaSalle.
Tama.
So as far as DLSU is concerned,
Yung
I
mga,
need your prayers.
hindi lifetime, mag-lifetime na.
Yeah. I need your prayers because it's challenging to be running an association, especially at this time in the pandemic. And we need to pray for each other because so many people are getting sick, right? And so we need to hopefully everybody's vaccinated, everybody follows social distancing protocols, because this is no easy time. So I wish you all and your families to be safe. No?
Okay.
So I wish you all for that.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Thank
To
you,
that
Tito.
note, I would like to
Thank
take
you so much.
to that note, I want to thank Tito Kaloy for this night, Bob and Kiko, and then Ted Camacho for this wonderful and entertaining podcast. Yan. I will end this podcast and say goodbye. Goodbye.